So, hi guys. We're going to look at Michael Burry's new predictions and trades. And we look at a few different sources. Yahoo being pretty damning and saying that Michael Burry is a one-trick pony, the guy from the Big Short movie who shorted housing, uh, depicted by Christian Bale in the movie. He's now placed a 1.6 billion bet against the S&P and the Nasdaq in the last quarter. For any close watchers of this YouTube channel, this is exactly what I have been doing. Obviously not 1.6 billion. Nevertheless, I've been talking about it since Q1 of this year. Anyway, enough about me. Let's see what else has happened with Michael Burry. So he's got a notional value of 1.6 billion. I'm guessing on options trading. Let's see if they talk about that. I don't know. But Mark Calkin, the founder and CEO of Calkin Analytics, told Benzinga, a trading website, that he's going to be wrong like Mike Wilson was wrong. And this chap has dismissed the idea that Burry's portfolio update has spooked retail traders into selling. And he's saying, I promise you that nobody on Reddit follows Michael Burry. Actually, there's tens of thousands of people that do show an interest in Michael Burry's thoughts. Anyway, let's carry on. Burry invested in GameStop, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into all of this. Let's move on to the next article, which is from the Independent Ad Blocks. Let's go to the next one. Motley Fool. Someone else is saying from the Shark Tank show, Kevin O'Leary is saying the Big Short chap, Michael Burry's bet is risky. Michael Burry made 100 million during his short position in 2008. He's been successful in the past, but Kevin O'Leary, not Michael, Kevin O'Leary, thinks that this is too risky. So indeed, he's bought put options on the ETFs and the S&P. It's exactly what I've done, folks, although I did mine a little bit early. Nevertheless, his hedge funds owns 30 stocks. So he's kind of, maybe it's a bit of a hedge here. I don't know what the value is on his long positions versus his shorts. But anyway, Benzinga, the trading website, what are they saying? So yeah, it's a bit more specific that Burry has purchased 40,000 puts, which is a huge order, on the SPY and the QQQ. Again, they're quoting that Chalkin is calling him a one-trick pony. So they're saying if you invested $1,000 on March 13th, you could have purchased 3.92 shares of the SPY puts, I'm guessing, and they'd be worth $1.7 thousand today. That's a really stupid thing to look at, really, because the people that did short in March 2020, me being one of them, typically only held those shorts for a few days. Yeah, so that's really crap, actually. I know that my shorts in that kind of period went up 4x, some cases 5x. Didn't win on all my trades though, so I didn't walk away with that kind of outcome. It still did fairly well. So we've got some opinions there. Let's have a think about this. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I think that tech stocks and American stocks are overvalued. That's been my kind of feeling for a long time in 2023. And I think I posted at some point, I'll put it on the screen when I posted my videos about shorting the S&P and the FTSE. But I think in particular, I think the US stock market is over here. That's just my opinion. But I've been listening to some other opinions recently on famous traders. Actually, I'm going to quote them now. So Victor Spandio, as covered in New Market Wizard's book about trading and investing, was basically saying that markets that go up in 20% in a short period of time, indexes he's talking about there, I believe, are likely to decline. And if we have a quick look at the S&P of what it's done in the last 6 months, I'm going to share my screen again. Over the last 6 months, let's take, he put Michael Burry put on these trades. People talking about a week or two ago. So around I don't know when they're actually executed. Maybe if you know the dates of the trade execution, then put it in the comments below. But over the last 6 months, it's gone from 4,000 up to 4,582. So that's quite a lot in a 6 month period. It's not 20%, It's, I don't know, something like 12% or something like that. What about the 1 year? The 1 year, again, is about 10%. But if we go from the lows, it's from 3,500 up to 4,500. If we're thinking about these kind of periods, the October lows. And it's been a bit of a, I mean, that's a monster move, really, when we're talking about the whole stock market. That is enormous. That's well above 20%. So it really depends on the time frame you're looking at. The 6 months is 12% or whatever. Over a year, if we look at the lows, it's like it's way above 20%. If we look at the last month, it's gone down. I don't know when he put on the trade. If we look at the year to date, yes, from 3,800 to 4,500. The high, again is over 15%, which is quite a lot, really. And if we think about some of the highest valued stocks, I mean, let's look at the company I used to work for, and let's look at Meta. I know that's gone up since I left. No correlation, of course. So in the last year, it's gone from 166 to 287. In the last 6 months, it's gone from 170 to 287. And that's after this last market downside. If we look at the low to the high, from 170 up to 325, that's nearly double in 5 months. And it's got a pretty high PE ratio, nearly 35 price to earnings ratio. And if we think of some quality stocks in the UK, just as a nice little comparison, if we think about, let's look at Money Supermarket. So that's valued at 17 times earnings, half of Meta, and it has a dividend yield of 4.91%. This is why I personally don't think that the UK market and lots of shares in the UK are overpriced. If we look at the AIM, everyone knows, or a lot of people know, that I'm bullish on K-Box. That's growing pretty well, and it's got a PE ratio of 14, a dividend yield of 5%. So, if we think about that, and I've only looked at 3 stocks there, Meta, Money Supermarket, and K-Box, but I think it's broadly a good kind of indicator of the entire market. The tech stocks, QQQ and the S&P, a lot of the stocks in those markets have very high valuations, and I don't blame Michael Burry for putting on these trades. Will he be right? I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I think it's silly to say he's definitely going to be wrong. I think that I feel the people that are saying that are using it as an opportunity to. They may believe he's gone wrong, but they might also be using it as their own kind of PR opportunity to gain additional awareness of their own thoughts and brand recognition or whatever. I think Michael Burry's a smart cookie. I've looked in the past at some of his trades, and I thought they've been pretty good. And he happens to sort of agree with me on this trade, albeit the maximum I've put on trading indexes is a small 5-figure sum, and he's putting on billions, or at least that's the notional amount. I'm really interested to follow this. What do you guys think? I personally think the US stock markets are overvalued. The UK, I think there's pockets of value, and quite a lot of pockets of value. I suppose the only, in terms of individual industries and stocks, I think you have to be a bit careful of. I suppose one caveat about looking at individual stocks or verticals, industries, is that cyclicals look cheap when their earnings are about to crash. So this is typical with house builders and car manufacturers, two of the industries I think that are going to do very poorly, and I'm recommending, at least for myself, not advice for anyone else, but I'm considering shorting both house builders in 2023 and car manufacturers, automakers in either this year or next year. So you have to be a bit careful, but I do think that going back to indexes, I do think the US is overvalued. Whether Michael Burry is correct or not, I think it's really interesting to see, because not very many people talk about what they're doing publicly. Most people talk about the past. I'm very open with what I'm doing, and I think that's quite rare. I think it's rare because most people don't have faith or belief in their investing or in their trading, and they don't want to be held accountable. And I think that people like Michael Burry are doing the right thing. Even if they're wrong, I think it's really important for people to be open, especially hedge fund managers. Most of them lose money, and most of them don't talk sense in terms of the decisions they make. A lot of the prospectuses I've seen of hedge fund managers, it just seems like absolute bullshit, a lot of the stuff they say. So I welcome people that are publicly talking about the trades they're making. I'm also in favor of people being confident about the trades they make. I don't know if I would put, a large percentage, more than 50% of my investable funds into a short position. However, I did do that in March 2020, and I did quite well. The thing I didn't do well on was reversing and going long in April, which I should have done, and May. Nevertheless, I do respect people like Michael Burry and the Buffetts of the world, people that are open about their trading and investing decisions. I think it's rare, and I think it's really important for people to, at least for me, I find it so interesting when people talk about their predictions and their ideas about the future. I find it so boring when if you look at other, I hate to say it, a lot of financial YouTubers just talk about the past. How useful is that? Maybe there's, some historians out there, it's a little bit entertaining. I think it's more interesting to think about the future, to think about how one can potentially improve their family circumstances, improve their own financial, lifestyle and all that jazz. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Remember, guys, I've got videos about shares, about angel investing, about property, a whole range of things. I thought I'd add a little afterthought on the Michael Burry video. I noticed a couple of interesting things when I looked him up. His Twitter handle is Cassandra, which was a famous, a daughter of Priam, who was endowed with the gift of prophecy, but fated never to be believed. Also known colloquially as somebody who predicts misfortune or disaster and isn't believed in Greek mythology. So he's been called Cassandra. He calls himself Cassandra on Twitter. I find that interesting, purely because I've been called Cassandra myself for predicting things, including the global pandemic. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was the second thing I find interesting is that he deleted all of his tweets, and you can't see them unless you go on. There's an archive of his previous tweets, which someone has catalogued, I guess. And one of them said he was wrong. Again, this goes to the previous thoughts I had in this video, that this guy is open when he's right or wrong, and seeks he seeks kind of accountability and complete transparency. And I thought that's really good. I suppose maybe there's quite a lot of hate on platforms like Twitter, and maybe if you post something like you were wrong, maybe he got a lot of hatred about that. I don't think anyone can be right 100% of the time. I know I'm nowhere near 100%. I think if you right more than 50% of the time, then you'll do very well in life, and that's what I hope for. I think casinos are at maybe 51% of the time. Anyway, I just thought I'd add that in. Yeah, I've been called lots of things as well. Cassandra on predicting several different things, the global pandemic, and then that there'd be different variations and variants, and that, yeah, I suppose I find myself with a little bit of a natural affinity with Michael Burry, in that I was too young to predict the 2008 crash. I was only really interested in stocks at that point. But we both were involved in the March 2020, the shorting of the markets then, and I believe there's going to be, I've been talking about a housing market crash and a stock market crash, for at least 9 months, if not much longer than that. We've both been called Cassandra. He calls himself Cassandra. So I do feel like, and we're both kind of upfront about what we're doing in our financial lives, if you like. So I feel a kind of natural affinity to Michael Burry. So I think I'm probably going to be a little bit more defensive of his actions and what he says. However, I'm still going to be, as open and transparent myself about. I'm not going to be overly protective. I don't feel like he's family or anything like that. But I do feel I've always found him interesting. I found The Big Short a fantastic move, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it for people that are interested in trading or investing. I think it's a must-watch movie. Guys, I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you for watching this extra bit. Not sure if everyone will watch this extra bit, but if you have, you learned something new about me maybe, and a bit more about Michael Burry as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Remember, knowledge is power, especially about knowledge and progress, everything. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.